This footage of city lights and traffic captures the exact state of the modern mind. We wake up to an immediate assault of notifications, locked in a cycle of constant consumption that creates a dizzying vortex of overstimulation. Living in this environment keeps our nervous systems in a state of constant, low-grade panic. To cope, we often fill the empty space with unnecessary words, lashing out in anger, feeding our egos, or talking out of sheer boredom because the quiet feels too heavy to bear. Choosing absolute radical silence is a deliberate refusal to participate in this cycle. For a rare group of people, the answer to a hyper-connected age is to withdraw their attention from the crowd entirely. Monastic silence functions as a highly engineered mechanism. By removing external chatter, monks eliminate the distractions that prevent them from accessing their own internal reality. Taking the monastic vow of silence is a profound commitment. Individuals leave modern society to retreat to ancient stone architectures on remote mountain peaks, placing a physical barrier between themselves and the noise of the valley. This isolation stems from the belief that truth and divinity exist in the margins of existence. They are subtle realities that only become noticeable when the surrounding environment is perfectly still. This massive bronze bell establishes the mechanical control over a monk's life. They operate under the horarium, a strict daily schedule where every hour is governed by the ringing of metal. That schedule begins at 3:30 a.m. A bell pulls the monks from sleep directly into the night watch, a period of prayer and reflection known as vigils that takes place in total darkness. Inside a monk's cell, there is only a plain wooden bed and a small desk. This stark simplicity is entirely intentional. The room is an unadorned space designed to house nothing but the individual's soul. Starting the day in pitch black removes the safety of external visual stimuli. Without screens or lights to focus on, the mind has no choice but to immediately confront itself. These ancient Latin texts and rigid musical notations show how the monks vocalize. They engage in chanting, a form of singing silence, where their voices are strictly regulated by tradition. This synchronizes their breath and heartbeat without allowing for the expression of personal ego. Waking in the dark and limiting speech to uniform chants serves a specific philosophical point. Clarity must be generated from within, rather than borrowed from the external world. At 9 a.m., the monks begin their manual labor. They follow the principle of ora et labora, pray and work, which turns physical exertion into an unbroken, silent meditation. This monk stands before rows of tightly packed, abbey-produced beer. Orders like the Trappists manage complex, successful economies, running farms and world-class breweries entirely through silent cooperation. In this stone dining hall, long wooden tables wait in stillness for the communal meal. Even the biological necessity of eating is stripped of social interaction, ensuring the monks' internal focus remains unbroken while they nourish their bodies. This coordination demonstrates that silence is a functional state. These communities show that humans can build and sustain complex systems without the friction of constant ego-driven conversation. This lifestyle eventually leads to a difficult confrontation. Without the hum of digital distractions or small talk, silence becomes an agonizing struggle against one's own unfiltered thoughts. Monks refer to this as the dark night of the soul. Deprived of worldly coping mechanisms, they must sit with their deepest anxieties and buried regrets. It is a period of intense psychological friction. The medical diagram shows how the brain's stress centers physically shrink and cool in response to extended quiet. This process transitioned the neural pathways into a calm, rhythmic pulse, physically altering how the body reacts to pressure. This biological change creates a massive expansion in the attention span. A monk gains the ability to focus intensely on a single object or thought for hours without their mind wandering. Unshakable peace is the result of surviving this internal battle. It is a state earned by facing the noise of one's own consciousness without the ability to look away. At 8 p.m., the monastery doors are bolted, marking the start of the grand silence. From this moment until morning, all ties to human interaction are severed. The coarse wool and simple rope knot of the monk's habit reflect their vocal silence. These physical garments strip away worldly vanity and personal fashion, further dissolving the individual's identity. The overarching purpose of this lifestyle is the systematic defeat of the ego. By removing unique clothing and personal opinions, the monks silence the internal voice that constantly demands to be heard. This creates the central monastic paradox. By choosing silence, they ensure their rare words carry a weight that casual speech never achieves. They give up the noise of the world to gain complete control over their internal reality. One does not need to flee to a mountain to utilize these biological mechanisms. The discipline of quiet is a tool available to anyone. Carving out momentary spaces of emptiness helps protect the mind from the fragmented nature of modern life. By cooling the brain's stress response and reclaiming the attention span, silence becomes a practical tool for emotional stability. When this video ends, step away from the screen, put your phone in another room, and attempt to endure just 5 minutes of absolute, unbroken silence. You will likely find that you rely on noise to escape your own thoughts. True self-knowledge is found in the quiet, where you are finally forced to face the weight of your own mind.